Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So here we go, Bitcoin on the 4-hour. We sort of had our pennant drawn in yesterday. Obviously we didn't really, I mean, you can see how it was drawn before we had these levels here. You could have pretty much drawn anyway. This is just arbitrarily in the middle of the wick, but I actually put it at this horizontal level and then kind of touching these sort of wicks down here. But and the main thing we can take from this is we could actually adjust this if we wanted to. But either way, realistically, we're just kind of looking at these horizontal levels, which, Bitcoin did lose that 35,000 level. So basically, we pretty much said that we would then come and hit 33,000. We then had to, realistically hold 33,000 or we would hit 30,000. But yeah, we did hold 33,000. We are at present trying to make our way back above this resistance zone, so we're not actually doing too bad here, because obviously the resistance zone starts at 35,000 and we are not far off 36,000, close some 4 hours above 36,000, and then we could be looking at the move up towards the next level, which would be 38,000. It could start to look better if we want to look at this as an efficacious trend line, but we could potentially adjust it. But if we want to look at it where it is, we are either looking for basically the forward check, the back check, and the pay check off the underside of this trend line, i.e. we're going to back test it and get rejected. But what I would also point out is that realistically we're just looking at the horizontal, because if we swing failure above the horizontal, come back down, then obviously that will basically be the same price action. We will just come down, or we could do our swing failure, our bump and run below, take out the trend line, liquidity hum below, back on in, onwards and upwards. So we could have that going on. Obviously it's weekend price action, so usually, I mean, you guys generally know I expect a reversion to the mean, generally sideways price action. So we could find our way back into this, back above basically 36,000, at which point then we could then potentially expect to move onwards to 38, then potentially even 40, the top side of this range. Obviously printing, however, whatever we want to do trend line wise, clearly printing a higher low. So we've got a low, a higher low, and a higher low. Obviously we've got lower lows at the highs. Lower highs at the highs. That is it. But roughly speaking, we are playing basically below that 42,000. So literally over 42,000. We'll be looking medium term neutral, and then looking for moves onwards and upwards. But what I would be, I'll be very defensive of basically bull traps within this area, because if we print a lower high, if we do end up basically printing a lower high relative to these highs here, and we don't basically get back up, well, 58 is clearly where we go bullish. If we don't take out 58,500, basically any point in here, basically above 42 and below 58.5, anywhere in this region is a bull trap region, literally, for basically a prolonged bear market, at which point if we get rejected anywhere in this region, we come back down, we take out these lows, we come back down into the low 20,000s, and then maybe even lower than that, grind our way out sideways, and we will be waiting for probably be waiting for quite a while for basically Bitcoin to pick itself back up again. So that is what I am actually extremely defensive of at the moment. And also you will note we will then start to print what you could then maybe look at as a head and shoulders as well. So I am updating my strategy, basically my macro crypto strategy, to look to be taken, assuming we can get this run up into these levels, into this region. I am going to be looking to basically take risk off as we basically come into this area. So I hopefully, as long as we do, so I get that chance, but basically between 42 and 58.5, and then I can just reassess a situation if we do get above 58.5 and look bullish again. I mean, it won't be a problem, but I think you have to be very guarded to the potential bull trap here, and then literally taking out 30k and then down to the low 20s, which if you assume we can get if you assume we can get anywhere near 50k, we're easily looking at like a 50% markdown from that point, if we come down into the 20ks. So that's quite a lot of risk. It may be your last opportunity. This bull run might be different to other bull runs. We've already had a very severe pullback. I mean, in hindsight, if we basically get a bull trap in here and come down, in hindsight, it would look very obvious, like, well, a 50% plus pullback, you've clearly bust the bull market. Yeah, we've got to watch out. And as you can see, there is a clear, there is a sort of a head and shoulders formation of sorts forming, and yes, certainly if we get I mean we may even struggle to get over 46. I mean, we may get over 42, and then maybe into this 46 level will start to look difficult. If we are operating a bull trap within here, 46 would be the weakest target. 52 would be the medium target, and all the way up towards the 58, but not taking it out and not basically carrying on upwards would be the most opportune target. But at which point, obviously, once we get to nearer a level with that sort of momentum, you do obviously increase your chance of obviously breaking above it. So that is kind of my macro thinking at the moment, guys. I am thinking of assuming we do get a move into well, ideally the 50ks. I'm going to be looking at basically picking up my ball and going home, and then just waiting to see what happens in this region, see if we get above 58, and then if we do get above here and we do get an acceleration to the upside, you guys know how much I love my back tests, my forward check, my back checks, and my pay checks. I will be happy just to see what happens. I'll still be exposed to crypto, but just nothing like what I am at the moment, and then I'll be looking to basically buy any back tests just to get fully invested again. So yeah, some macro perspective there for you guys. If this is happening, I don't necessarily expect the bull trap to be straight up and straight down. I imagine we'll get up here, maybe trade sideways for a bit, maybe put in a sort of, as you can see here, an ascending wedge, at which point I suspect a lot of altcoins may go crazy with that sideways. With obviously there will be a bullish sentiment in the market, hence a bull trap, otherwise you won't be able to have a bull trap. With Bitcoin looking better, Bitcoin then trading sideways, altcoins I think will go a bit crazy. So that again is what happens, and basically in the tail end of a bull market, is that the altcoins go wild, and I think that is what could be happening. I'm not trying to say that this is what I definitely think is happening, but just so far as a risk management, and obviously you guys know that I basically look at and trade macro longer term positions, like 4 hours the minimum time frame I look at. In that perspective, this kind of does look like it looks like a level where I've got to basically start getting very defensive, and it is not realistically a problem at all if I basically end up taking all my risk off, even if it's in the high 40s, and I then have to then watch it continue on upwards to wherever, maybe into like the high 60s, maybe low 70s, and then I can always get back in. Not always, assuming there's a pullback, I expect I would get an opportunity to get back in within the 60s or even high 50s anyway on the sorts of back test. So there's not realistically a lot of percentage price action if you are looking at larger time frame views, and at that point getting in around there, I'd be looking potentially for one last 2x into the 120Ks, and then maybe that would be well, maybe that would be the end of the bull run if we aren't basically at the end of it now. So yeah, just some of my thoughts there for you guys. Yes, and make of that what you will. But yeah, first and foremost, we've got to start getting back to the upside. We've got to basically see this this bump and run, get back above. Obviously, well, firstly get above and hold 36k. Then obviously, well, 39k we could call it. Then 42k, and then everyone should start getting super excited. I'm sure it will. If it's going to happen, it will coincide with the dollar DXY making its move down into the 88s, 87s, and then I think things maybe start to look a bit difficult for markets. As you guys know, I am a bit concerned about just general markets towards the end of this year. We are basically ticking over to the second half of this year, the third quarter. So any point like mid to end third quarter, final quarter of this year is potentially the danger zone for a severe pullback, and then the Fed maybe have one last blast at its in inverted commas tools, and then see what happens there. But if things start to look dire, obviously people could look to crypto as something as a hedge or something to revert to, but you've just got to remember that if things start to look dire, there will be all sorts of rules changing, laws changing, tax changing, and they will come for crypto hard if crypto threatens to basically take their power. So yeah, so I would personally be looking more to play the inflation trade just through precious metal miners. As I have alluded to numerous points in the past, has been my basically planned pivot. My planned pivot will be basically out of crypto into basically into precious metal miners, and the likes. So and your commodities as a whole, soft commodities potentially. I will basically become a commodities trader again, although Bitcoin is potentially a commodity, so that is what I will get looking at. Ethereum BTC, as you can see, had a pullback. You can see trading very nicely between our levels. As you can see, I mean, we could have drawn a horizontal one here, which we then obviously touched basically nearly the top of this level, came back, touched this level, horizontal, and the thing, and we're now looking to have a bit of a bounce. So still obviously in a downtrend. We don't want to lose this horizontal again, otherwise again things will not be looking good. But yeah, I mean, I have spoke about what I'm kind of hoping stroke expecting is that Bitcoin does make that move back up. Whether it is a bull trap or whether it is a continue onwards and upwards, that's what I'm looking for. At which point I do expect, if that does happen, I do expect altcoins to get a bit euphoric for one last push. So yeah, that is what I'm looking at there. Not much else obviously to look at the moment, because it is the weekend, and trad markets, traditional markets are open. I like trad wives. The Ethereum USD pairing, as you can see, we've got to get back above this 2,500 again, and then we can potentially start to see if we can take out 3,000. I mean, anywhere in this 3,500, anywhere in this range again, but obviously below here is probably. Well, depending on how euphoric we get, how crazy altcoins go, obviously we have got some fundamentals with ETH. Maybe depending on it, really, this is why I don't look at this so much. It really just depends whether this gets going. If Bitcoin does get going, but this starts to really accelerate to our next targets, our 0.087 and here, then yeah, I mean, this could potentially take out these $4,000 highs. But yeah, Bitcoin would have to do some work. The Ethereum Bitcoin would have to do some more work. But yeah, I mean, that's why I kind of look at the Satoshi pairing rather than the USD pairing. But yeah, stochastics then. Stochastics then for Bitcoin. Yeah, 4 hour. This is looking good for us, because we are starting to try and push towards, as you can see, push back up above 36k. So if we have got all this room to run in the 4 hour, this could get us to 38, 39k, and then hopefully these medium time frames could pick us up and get us through. The 10 hour, these were not particularly helping us the other day. Obviously I'll wait, but yeah, 10 hour now has hit a low region, looking to turn back up. So that could, if it does turn back up, give us some good momentum. 12 hour still coming down. Daily is still pointing up, but obviously losing its upward momentum. 2 day got lots of room to run. 3 day got lots of room to run. 5 day coming down, but I'm sure if we do start to move up, then it will turn back up. Weekly coming down as well. So I mean, this, if we did see this turn up in this 2 and 3 day, get a run up, we could be looking at that nice bull trap move, and yeah, and then there's no hour here, but my potential exit strategy, risk management strategy, because realistically speaking, guys, until we take out this level here, we are in a bear market. Until we take out this level and continue. So realistically, if you get an opportunity to take off in this level, you pretty much, I personally will be doing that. And then, like I said, you can either FOMO in straight over 58.5 if that's what you wanted to do with your exposure, or you could just wait to see how it plays out and then buy a pullback, which is what professionals would do, not because they're smarter or better than anyone else. Well, maybe they are, maybe some of them are smarter, but they're doing it because that's where you get the most liquidity. If you're going to buy the breakout, there's not much liquidity to buy into, just the market's just pumping. So as the market then starts to turn around and some people start to freak out, sell their positions, and as the market is coming down, you can buy buying into a downward moving market as people are selling, and you can just get more of a position with you can basically buy your position whilst the actual price is getting cheaper, rather than buying your position whilst the price is going up quick. So yeah, there we go, guys. That is it. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.